Ah, man. Ah, man, look at the calendar. Ah, man. Hey, hi, how are you doing, guys? I've been away for a bit. Okay, maybe a little while, but that's besides the point. The point is that I am back with a new video. Finally. My god. You see, after the New Year, and after the Lunar New Year's, and also after me continuously playing this one game called Apex Legends because one of my best friends got me into it, I ended up playing that game and just that game non-stop to the point that I lost track of my script. Again! I seem to always have the worst kind of excuses, but oh well. Hopefully I'm not too late. So today I would like to talk about why young kids should not engage in internet communities, and I believe it's very important for a lot of you guys to know this, considering I have seen multiple people engage in conversations doing fan art and stuff around the art community. While some of them happen to be 12, 11, or even much younger. Of course, it goes without saying that the guardians of these children are the ones who should be responsible for their safety, but this is something I believe is important enough to be talked about, in order to raise awareness of the risks and dangers of these situations that are happening to young kids online. But this video is not just for the babies on the internet, but also directed at people who are old enough to use social media, yet started using it before they even turned 13. I'm not saying it's inherently wrong to do, nor is it a wrong thing. No, believe me, I've done the same thing and started talking to people online, looking around and DeviantArt, making a YouTube channel, hoping to grow a platform one day when I was 11. Yup, I myself am guilty of doing just that, which would make me seem hypocritical, but because of what I have been through as a young child, talking and engaging myself in small groups of people on the internet, I had to learn so many things and more the hard way. But moving on, I think we all know what the minimum age is for you to actually create an account and engage with social media, that being at least 13 years of age the majority of the time. YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram being an example have all stated this in their TOS, and it's for a good reason. On the internet you get to see and meet so many kinds of people. Some are nice, and some are a bit, well, not so nice, I would say. And because you're still young, let alone very impressionable, you would absorb anything you see like a sponge. So if you happen to stumble upon content creators who say inappropriate jokes, racial slurs, or maybe even controversial opinions that could lead you to doing and saying the wrong things as a child, you would see that and go, yeah, this stuff that I'm seeing is all cool and it's said by cool people, I should do the same. From there, you can easily mimic their behavior and say bad things without knowing it's bad in the first place. This is speaking from experience and my own observation. I've had people who would normalize racial slurs, and I thought as long as it's not directed at others, it was okay to use said words. But I had to sit down and realize how I don't like or want to say those words because of the history behind it, and how it shouldn't be used if you're not that said POC. There are also instances where there are call-out posts that are valid to push that person out of the community, have solid evidence, and had made their point clear. And then there are call-out posts that actually turn out to be really biased, have personal grudges, have unreliable evidence being shown, etc. And when I was a kid, I would just believe whatever that was being shown in the document and jump on whatever hate train that was going on at the time without knowing the full story or actually acknowledging that I may be engaging in spreading hateful accusations without even knowing. And I believe it's the same for everyone else in the community as well. So let's try and switch the perspectives around. If you were the one getting hate bombed as a child, getting death threats, and top of death threats, getting harassed non-stop when the community turns their back on you because you happen to do something wrong on private, what would you do? Would you make a proper response to whatever accusations people were throwing onto you? Well, mostly the answer would be a big no. A normal kid cannot handle situations like these because children are children. They aren't adults. They don't know what's right from wrong yet. They say and do things that their friends or their role models do, and to be frank, that should not be a reason for you to publicly call them out, but rather resolve the situation privately. And usually the hate mob would also be just kids that have been influenced by adults that happen to be really immature. Of course, it's important that they are corrected in a calm and reasonable manner, and they have to be told what is wrong and right. They are still young, and they're still impressionable. So if they have done something wrong, teach them what is right rather than putting these children through an experience that could most likely affect how they interact with others, let alone how they view people online in a potentially harmful manner. Speaking of adults, I have also seen and had adults who would go out of their way to talk to young kids with sinister intent, taking advantage of young developing minds who have not even found their own moral compass yet. For the longest time, I thought it was okay for a 15-year-old me to be talking to people in their 20s and consider them as friends or even more than that, not realizing them wanting to be more than friends and were creepy towards me. I thought it was okay for 11-year-old me to be dating a 19-year-old like the easy target I was. And all because I was too young to even understand the concept of dating in general. You might think that you may be smart enough to notice these, but trust me, when you're in that situation as a kid who grew up on the internet, it's not that noticeable until someone points it out for you. It's even worse if you only grew up to realize how damaging that experience was. Though there will also be adults out there who won't be as bad as the ones that I just mentioned, but there are those that exist who would put children on a pedestal and treat them like an adult, which, mind you, is not healthy for a child to be going through, is considering the fact that kids should be allowed to act like kids. But however, as a kid, when you get put into situations like these, feeling the need to be responsible and overall a bigger person, which you shouldn't because, well, you're a kid. You shouldn't feel the need to be a therapist for an adult who has much more life experiences and should know better than a goddamn kid. Period. It is especially dangerous to talk to people online at that age because, again, you don't know what's right from wrong. And you would not want to let people like you, young and impressionable children, grow up on the internet having an unhealthy and obnoxious mentality when you are literally in your preteens. Especially since this will literally affect you later on in life of how you treat people or how you get treated by people, and would have to learn things in a tougher manner compared to others. And by things I mean like your manners, your views, your personality, your mentality, and so much more. Another thing I'd like to mention is how kids being given a platform from such a young age can also damage their mental health, whether it be small or big. I really don't like it when I see little kids who don't know any better who get pushed into getting into a pedestal because of having a platform, leaving to other kids looking up to them. That never ended up being a good thing because they won't have a space where they will be able to make mistakes and learn from them, just like how other kids do, especially when all eyes are on them. So the whole point of this video being made is to hope that kids will understand and wait until they're much older till they can start using social media in a safe manner. Trust me on this when I say you won't be left behind. In fact, your efforts in keeping yourself safe will all benefit you in the end. If you don't listen, well, I can't blame you. I mean, I didn't listen to my parents telling me to not engage in media until I'm of age, and that only backfired, unfortunately. But oh well, I learned it in the hard way, and I just hope that a good bit of you won't have to go through the things me and many others have experienced. This video was something I was thinking of making for a while because no one really ever talked about it, or it could have been just me who hasn't seen it. And through this, I can share a bit of what I had to go through and a bit of how kids would do stupid things, but they will never be in the wrong for doing so. They just simply need some time to learn from their own mistakes, and that's final. Big shout out to my stinky ass best friends, Teddy and Sato, for helping me with the script. Sato doing this for the second time. Because whenever I script, it always happened to be whenever I'm sick or drowsy, so as always, my friends try to bear with me and actually fix some of the parts of scripts because I am just that stupid. I've been playing too much Apex because of Sato introducing me to the video game. Yeah, that best friend being Sato. Like, he has been telling me to get the game for months and I finally gave in, and this is what has come in return for listening to him when I shouldn't have. Glove Club for life. Oh! Oh, and by the way, I have a Discord server, which both Sato and Teddy had to help me make. Again. It launched a few months ago and more people are always welcome, and please do join the small community. I sometimes host game nights and just chat sometimes whenever I'm up for it, so make sure to be there if you'd like to engage in whatever conversation I'm in at the time. And another thing, I'll be streaming this upcoming Saturday. It'll be 11 AM EST, 12 AM GMT 9 Standard Korean Time. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. I will go back and play Apex again. Oh my god.